to my first ever video on Geeks and Geeklets and my first ever Roblox video. My name is Terry Shelley, or actually Michelle, but on Roblox I am Terry Shelley. And I'm here to create a series of videos on Roblox where I basically learn how to create games on Roblox. You may already be familiar with Roblox. I've got the homepage up here so you can see what it's all about. Basically, it's this great site where people are making all these awesome 3D games. And I know, some very young people are making these games. And it's certainly a site that my daughter enjoys playing on. But there is this third tab along here which talks about developing. You click on it, it says join thousands of successful developers on Roblox. Our free platform enables anyone to create 3D multiplayer games and host them on the Roblox cloud. So one day she clicked on there, went further, opened the Roblox Studio. It's something I've now got downloaded on my computer. And she started to have a go at creating something. And she found it hard. And, at that age, 7 years old, where, it was very much, oh, this is a bit hard. I'll never be able to do this. And off she went to play a game that somebody else had made. So I downloaded it myself and thought, well, I'll have a look at it. And I could see it wasn't something I was just going to be able to jump straight in and help her with. So I've decided that I'm going to teach myself Roblox and try and get to a point where I can create my own game on Roblox. And then it may be something that she'll want to go back to and it's something I can help her with. So that's the general idea of this. And this is the first episode of me basically trying to create something in Roblox Studio. So I'll just stop there in a minute and I'll open up the studio. Okay, so here I am inside Roblox Studio. It's very easy. I mean, once you've gone on to roblox.com and I created an account and then went on to develop and then opened up the studio. It's now downloaded to my desktop, so I can just basically go straight into the studio from there. What you get is this start page. Made up of a number of windows, the obvious things at the top with file and then various tabs, which I'm sure we'll get familiar with: home, model, terrain, test, view and plugins. You have this page here, two tabs. I'm just randomly clicking on them here now. We'll get to grips with them. Further down, new project, games, my projects is where you organise your projects. They start by suggesting either base plate or flat terrain, some themes, and some bits and bobs on gameplay. Again, it all looks like something I shouldn't just dive straight into. So what we really want is to see with the tutorials. Okay, so here we are. As I say, I just was figuring out how to get the tutorial to appear. You basically need to go into view here, which is up on the menu, fifth tab along, and select tutorials. My tutorial popped up here at the top left hand side. Yours may be down the bottom left hand, but you can drag it up to the top. So okay, tutorials. Click here, it says to get started. And the first thing I'm going to work through is making a tree, because you think, well, making a tree sounds pretty straightforward. And that's probably a good one for us to get stuck into. So I've clicked on it and here we have the instructions. It doesn't say to open up something to work on, but of course, we need somewhere to place our tree. So I'm going to pick base plate just so that we can see things more clearly than having a tree against a load of green background, which you get with flat terrain, just may look a little green. And I just want to be able to focus in on exactly what we're doing when we make this tree. So I've got my window full of this base plate, this metallic looking thing. And in the tutorial, it tells you the very first thing you need to do is grab a part, which you use as a trunk. Again, it doesn't say where. This is a problem with some of these tutorials. I think there are some limitations here. And we'll start working through these ones, but we may then, as the series goes on, look at what other tutorials are available on the web that can help us maybe make our way through Roblox. But on this one, it just says to insert a part. Mind you, I read on further, it does say click on the part button on the home tab. So, okay, take it all back. Home tab is here, first tab in the menu, and we get the part button, which is sort of in the middle of the screen. So we click on the drop down, we've got a block, and that looks perfect, and there we have it. Now I know you scroll in with your scroll button to look closely at something, so I've gone in a little bit further so I can see that this is a 4 stud by 2 block. It says back in the tutorial to use the scale tool to make it narrow. The scale tool is still up in this home tab. You have the select tool, the move tool, the scale, and rotate. So I grab that third one along scale, and what you get here are these sort of blobs that allow you to move it up on the y-axis, across on the on the x-axis, and z. That's your depth, your z-axis. What it is saying to do is to make it a 2 by 2. So we'll just take it narrower using the red blob. There's probably another more technical term for it than that. Once you've done that, then it says to make it taller. So now we'll use the green blob, and there you have, I think that's tall enough for our tree. And we'll scroll out a bit to see it in the world. Now, as well as scrolling out, ooh, what happened then? Scrolling out using the mouse button, the mouse wheel, you can use your right mouse button, click, and then move up and down to sort of change the way you're looking at things, moving around and moving up and down. That is something that I find quite fiddly with this Roblox. For the little bit I've had a look at it for my daughter. And also Unity, which I'm separately learning. It's just that whole navigating around the world. That bit is tricky. You know, you'll go in too far with your mouse wheel, or you'll go something like that and forget where you should be. I know that if you highlight on an object and press F, you sort of recenter it, and that's quite a useful shortcut. So here we are. Anyway, we've got it in the middle of the screen, and it's now saying that we go back to that part button and pick a sphere. And there we have it. That's going to be the top of our tree. So if I just use this right mouse button and move around, you see that it's not quite sitting neatly on the trunk. You know, it's a very strange looking tree, if I'm honest. But you have to move it around to be able to see that. And also we're going to want to perhaps make it a bit bigger. So we'll first of all do some scaling. We'll move it up a bit. Let's move it. Let's move it around. Scaling. Because it's a sphere. I think it doesn't let you move some of the axes. It's mostly just you move the y-axis and the entire thing scales accordingly, which makes sense, I think. It's a long time since I did. It's been a long time since I've done this sort of maths. I quite like that though, and that's just been made a bit bigger by grabbing the y-axis, which is the green blob. But it's still not right in terms of where it's positioned. So I'm going to move over to the move button. Just looking at it, it looks like it needs to come over a bit, like so. So I moved it right. Yeah, that looks okay. I quite like that. Very proud of my tree. Very sci-fi tree at the moment. So we've done all of that really. We've dragged it, we've moved it, we've made it a bit bigger. We've basically just used the part button and picked out a block and a sphere, and we've used the scale button to make them bigger, and we've used the move button to just position them correctly. Easy. So now it's suggesting we colour in the trunks and the tree. and give them appropriate material. So you do this first of all by selecting the trunk, like so, and then still in the Home tab, moving further along, there are two buttons, one for material, one for colour. If we pick the drop down for colour first, you see the usual range of colours for trees. No, the usual range of colours, not specifically for trees, but there are some appropriate tree ones here, some nice browns. I'm going to pick a really dark looking one, that's nice. And for the leaves, I'm going to pick that sort of green. We're going back to the trunk in terms of material. You just go over to the material button, pick the drop down, and here you can go mad and have an icy brown looking tree, or smooth plastic, or fantastic looking neon tree. I mean, your game might want that kind of look. I'm going to be conservative today and go for plain old wood. Material, and for the tree I'll just do as the tutorial suggests, and I will pick some grass. So there we have it. There's a tree. A fantastic looking tree. Scrolling further down, it says, I've done all this. You may notice that when playing a game, which we've not done yet, with this tree, that the top sphere can easily be pushed by the character. To make sure that it doesn't move, select the sphere and then click on the anchor button. This will prevent it from moving, and you can do the same with the trunk. Well, we do want to do that, so I've selected the sphere here, and at the top, again, still in the Home tab, right next door to colour, there's an anchor button. So let's anchor that. I'm not sure if you can see anything that shows it's anchored. Let's select the trunk and do the same. I think the only thing that shows is when you click on them, you see the anchor is highlighted to show you've applied anchors to those two parts. Okay, let's have a look at testing this. Now, it's not obviously a game, but let's just see what it looks like with a little character in the world. To do that, you go across to the test tab here, and the first button is play. There's a drop down and you pick the play that's you come across first, or you use F5. And then my little character should drop into the world. She takes a little while to fill herself out, and sometimes I find when I try to move her, it doesn't work straight away, like so. So give it a little bit longer. Let's have a look at her. There she is. Can you move now? Yes, you can. So let's run up to this tree. She can't push it over. I wonder what would happen if I unanchored it. Can she jump? Oh, she can. Okay, yeah, let's do a little test then of unanchoring it, just to see what would happen. So I'll pick each of them in turn. I will pick each of them in turn. It's not selecting. I are unanchored, both unanchored. Go back into test, go back into play. Let her come to her senses. Yeah, there she is. Okay, now she's going to run headlong into this tree. Oh! Ah, come back! And now there's a new game, which is push the tree around. Obviously, this sphere has got its own gravity forces applying to it, and a material. Ooh, this is such a cool little game. So she's undone all my hard work, but she's playing a game of football with a tree. So you can see the value of anchoring there, and that also, we are going to be able to do some interesting things with these spheres and other shapes when we get further into the series. Okay, let's stop. I was very scared that she would have, permanently undone all my work, but no, there's the tree in all its glory. Okay, so that's the end of the first episode. It's just really starting to find my way around Roblox Studio, doing something very simple in making a tree. The next one we'll do, I think, is going along here to tutorial number 2, which is making a door. There are other tutorials then. You can make a building, make a windmill, goodness, make a river, and I'm going to need a strong coffee for this one, making a car. So we've got a lot to look forward to. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave any comments in the comments section, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Thank you. Bye.